Welcome everyone to this session on OnCourage. OnCourage is an application that's been developed in order to have people get together to help someone, most likely the organizer, the person who signed in for the application. Basically, what I'm going to show today is how you can navigate as a user, like how you get to OnCourage, what you can do in OnCourage. And at the end, I'm going to talk about what the organizer, the person who's the administrator of the group, can do on top of a regular member. I'm going to make available to you a presentation that I put together. I'm not going to refer to it very often because we're going to cover all of this here. Registering, how you can access your login page, what is the home page, can you switch to a French version, and so on and so forth for the members. And then there's a few more things that the organizer can do here, how they can start a group and how they can create some event, what we call ready for support, and how they can manage the group, decide who can do what, and so on and so forth. And what we've done here is basically do screenshots of the application with notes, as you can see here, that says, well, this is what you should do, this is what you can press, and so on and so forth. And there is over 50 slides like this. So I don't want to constantly go between the presentation and the demonstration. So I will mostly focus on the demonstration. If I'm going too fast, if you have questions, just stop me. But you will have that document, so you don't need to take pictures with your phone of a certain screen or something, because you will have access to this presentation, which again is giving you all the details that I'm going to demonstrate. So for now, I'm going to just move this out here and iconize here. So the first thing is, how do you get to OnCourage? How do you get invited to a group? Well, typically an organizer will start a group and will send you an email for an invitation. Typically, it will look like something like this. Hey, I would like you to join my group. And there's going to be what we call a URL, which is like a web page link that you can click on. That's going to bring you as to where you're going to register as a member. So if I click on this here, it's going to bring me hopefully to where I want to be. Yeah, so this is how you register. Here, it's giving this by default here. You wouldn't see that because I'm already registered and it recognized my user. But basically, the link itself would put the invitation code. The invitation code identifies the group you were asked to join, right? It's a private group, so we only want people that were invited. So we give it a code, so only the people that receive that code can join that group. But if you have the link that you've received by email, it's going to be automatically entered for you. The members don't have to pay anything. All they have to do really is register their information, and if they were invited by the organizer, they're automatically part of the group. So basically what the information you will need to provide here is a username. Username is what people will see when they're looking at the group. So it can be your first name, in my case, Michel. It could be a nickname. It could be anything that you want other people to recognize you at. And then you're going to enter a password. We want to make sure that whenever you log in, it's really you that logs in and that does the interaction with the application. And they will ask you to confirm it. They want to make sure that you can type it twice so there's no mistake into it. Your first name, your last name, and the email address. The email address is critical. This is what you're going to use as an identification to log in. It's not your username, it's the email address. And there's a lot of interaction that will happen through email. And we will see that as we're going to OnCourage. When they're sending invitation, when they're asking for help, and so on and so forth, you will receive an email that's going to be identified as coming from OnCourage. And you will be able to interact with the system and know what's going on without necessarily logging in into the application. Once you enter all that information, you can just say submit and confirm, and you will automatically be included in the group. So from that point on, you're going to be able to sign in as a member to the group that you're invited to join. How do you get there? If you don't remember or you don't do it immediately, you registered, you had something else to do, and then you want to say, like, how do I get to OnCourage? Well, there's two ways you can get there. Probably most of you, you can go directly to OnCourage, right? Or that .org, not the .com or not .ca. So it's oncourage.org, and you're going to end up on this page here. Or you can go to, let me get to the WICWC, and you're all familiar with the web page here for the center. I'm just getting there. It's taking its sweet time. What is this? Please bring me here. Here we go. And this is the web page for the WIC. And if you go here, there's a menu called OnCourage that's going to bring you exactly to the page that I showed before, which is the OnCourage login page. Start your page is to register. What you want to use is sign in here now that you have a and I'm going to, this is good. This is my email address that I used to register, and the password is automatically filled in because I did it in the past. Otherwise, I would have to enter it. And we're in OnCourage right now. This is OnCourage is kind of think a bit of a private Facebook. So something which is just for a limited number of people, and that you can kind of customize or configure to suit your needs. So what you're seeing here, the main layout is what you would see. But some of the, like the picture here, the picture there, the name of the group and everything is are features that the organizer can set in order to kind of personalize the page. So this is the welcome page. This is the first page you're going to see when you join a group in OnCourage. And I'm going to explain everything that goes on the top here, on the top portion. And what's in the bottom here depends on which menu you're selecting. So if I take member, for example, I'm going to see what's in the member section. And the menu you selected is always highlighted in red with the underline under it, so you know where you stand. And at all time, this is important, we have the My Page button here. So by doing My Page, you can always come back to the first welcome page where you landed, independently of where you were. So what do we have? Yep.
No, it's fine.
Nope. All right. So what do we have here on My Page? Well, here there's a button that says Member, and you would be either a member or an organizer. And if you click on it, you can leave the group, and it's going to ask you, are you really, really sure this is what you want to do? Because we don't want to add that by mistake. There's a name for the group. This is, in my case, I called it Support Group Demonstration, but it could be Support for Michelle. It could be anything the organizer wants to call the group that everybody will recognize why the group was started. And to support this, we can also do a little what they call a My Story. I could explain what happened, why I need help, or anything like this. Here, again, it's a demonstration. So if you want to see the full story, you click View More here. And in my case, this is a test for putting together an instructional video and second input and third one or something. But in reality, you might have a real short story here. It shows that the organizer is that gentleman there. It's Patrick, in my case. I could put any picture here. It might be something that is significant to you. Could be your house, could be your dog, could be whatever. But the organizer had put like the WIC logo with together. This was his choice, and he can change that as he moves along. And it's the same thing for the picture that is in the header there. It's just a picture that we assigned as that specific group. There might be nothing, or any other group could put some other picture there. So that's for the header here, which doesn't allow you to go anywhere. It's information that you are looking at, right? Then what we have here, if you prefer to have the interface, if you say journal, photos, ready for support, send messages, help members, we're in the English language. If you want to switch to French, you just press on Français here. And as you can see, all the menus are translated in French. Now, what's important is the only thing that we translate is the menu itself, the interface, how we interact with you, but the content is not translated. So if I put a comment in English yesterday, like my story, for example, it says Voir Plus, but the story will remain in English unless the organizer had did some kind of a bilingual story. Same thing here for the group or anything like this. But every menu telling you what to do, how to do it, and everything would be translated to French. And you can just toggle back by hitting English here. What we see on top here is myself. This is the username I use, WICWC. And the picture, instead of my own picture, I took a pictogram here. This is my representation here. And we'll see how we can change that as we move along. Let me all right, so I just want to check, just give me a second. I had a copy of my presentation on another screen just to make sure that, so that's signing in, the home page, French. All right, let's start with, these are the main menus. These are the things that you can do here. And I'll start with members, even though it's the last one here. And what member shows you is everybody who's in your group. So every one of them has chosen either a pictogram or a picture, or otherwise it's going to be empty there. It's going to just be an empty circle. So we have Patrick, who's the organizer. We have myself. And that green dot here identifies that this is you. So if there's 20 members or something, the one with the green dot is the person that is showing here. So this is WICWC. And we have usager, probably a French member, and user one. So from here, what you can do is if I click on user one here, I can see a bit of information about them. And if I want to send them a message, I can click also on the envelope here. And it's going to allow me to send them a message. But there's other ways to send messages, which are in the message section. So I'll review that more in details. I think what I like to see here is mostly to see who is in the group. And obviously, if they have photos here instead of pictogram, maybe you recognize something, because somebody might, that group, you might not know everyone which is invited, right? Maybe I invited people from my family and then friends and everything. My friends don't know my family or something like this. So that's a way to get familiar with the rest of the group. Then we're going to go to the journal menu. The journal menu is the default. When you hit my page here and you're coming back, what you see is the journal. Looks like you got lost. Well, I don't think so. Sometimes computers. And the journal, basically, if you are familiar with Facebook, is very similar to Facebook, where you can share something with the group. You can put a comment, you can put a picture, and also it's going to track everything that has been done with OnCourage. So if there was a request for help or stuff like this, you're going to see when it's been done, by who, and there's going to be hyperlink to send you to the information. So if I look at what we have here in my example, I'm invited if I want to share something with the group. So all I would do is put a comment, and I don't know, this is what I shared during demonstration. And I can post it. And this is what we see here. So all the other member would say that a few seconds ago, I wrote a comment. And when I wrote that comment, I could have included a picture by attaching a photo here and going on my laptop and find what you can search for information here. So if you're looking for a comment that was talking about, let's say, share, it's finding this one that I just said. And there was a share my comments that was done a while back, a week ago. So you can filter to just see the information you're looking for. You could do that, for example, if you're looking for comments that were done by Maggie. You could look by for Maggie, and you would see just the comment that she did instead of saying all the interaction. But to the point, we can. Again, I said that we're tracking activity. So for example, here, the organizer created a new event for spring cleaning, and we're going to go in detail into that, how we do that 3 days ago. So you see that there was a new request putting there. And if you want to volunteer on it or something, then you can go and in the OnCourage section, ready for support to do this. Here, I posted a picture, say, hey, hope this will raise your spirit today, and with the balloons and everything, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a timeline where you can see all activities. And if you logged in last week, let's say that you go to OnCourage once a week on Saturday, well, you can just scroll and see what happened since last Saturday, for example. That would be one way to use that journal. And again, whatever you post there is visible to all members. So if you want to send a message, hey, I've seen this news, or I saw this article you should read, whatever it might be, this is where that journal is tracking all the information. Then we have the photo menu. So basically photos. So you can either add photos directly here using the add photos here. So if you click on this, it's going to say, hey, you want to add a picture, it's going to ask you to go and upload something, and you can put a description for it. So it's going to bring me here, and I can find a picture that I wanted to upload. Well, actually, I probably have pictures here somewhere. And let's see. Cloud photo shared, family. Well, looks like I don't have a good pictures to show you here. But basically, I would pick the picture, I could put a comment, and it would add it to that library of pictures here. And it will also track all the pictures that were put in during the journal. So I didn't put that picture here. Basically, what I've done is when I was in the journal and I put that comment here that we looked at before, stating like, oh, that one here, hope this will raise your spirit today. And I added a picture, automatically it was added to the photos section. Those photos can be organized by album. So at one point, if you're a large group and a lot of people contribute pictures and everything, maybe you want to select some of them for a special purpose. Might be family or birthday gathering or something. So the organizer can give you the right to put stuff in in albums, or it could reserve that only the organizer can create in albums. But basically, I created 2 albums here, one for flowers, one for what I call service dogs. And you will see here that all we see is the 2 flowers that I add in my photos. And all I had to do is select them. And when you do add photos here, you can either take a new picture, or you can take something which is already in the photo album, in the photos here in the list, which is what I did before. Now, the main purpose of OnCourage, this is all nice and social and tidy, but it's the rally for sport. Basically, the organizer, and again, I'm going to cover that at the end because there are very few organizers, can create event and invite people to participate in them. Event can be anything. It could be there's a party, a barbecue or something. It could be that the person needs help to do grocery, spring cleaning, needs somebody to drive them to a medical appointment or stuff like this. And every member can volunteer to participate in an event. So the way that's working is you go to the ready for support here. And by default, you're going to see the upcoming activities, what has been defined in the future, right? So what will happen and what you can volunteer for. I'll just quickly talk about archive, but in a very simplistic thing, it's what happened in the past. So that's something that you can volunteer on or anything. It happened yesterday or the day before. And participating, and I'm going to cover that in a bit, is where you have volunteers. So you can identify in those upcoming events, which one did you register for or volunteer for. So let's scroll down a bit what we have here. So generally an event will have a title, right? Pet sitting here, drive to CHUM for weekly appointment, 1 of 3. So I guess there's going to be a 2 of 3 and a 3 of 3. spring cleaning. So just a one-line description of what is requested. There's a date when it starts. It's for Wednesday, March 29th at 1 in the afternoon. This is repeated here, and it ends at 4 o'clock. So this is a 3-hour thing in this case. There's a category, and you can filter by category. Maybe you like to do errands, or you like to take care of pets or something. So you could quickly go, if there's a long list of activities, go find the one that is most suitable for you. And the description, I was very lazy on this one. I just put dog. In this one, I put more information, even though it's the same activity. I said dog sitting for a few hours in Pincourt. So giving a location as well, so people know that they're not coming to do dog sitting in Quebec City or something. So this is the same kind of information. It just was entered a bit differently. And you can see participant here. We have user 1. Remember, we had 4 members in our group. We have organizer, we have WICWC, myself, user 1, and usager. And so user 1 volunteered for this one. And in this case, 1 participant is probably enough. If somebody volunteers to come and do pet sitting at my place, I don't think we need to have 20 people. So once somebody volunteer and the organizer say, yep, I agree, let's do it, he can mark a task as completed. And what that tells you is like, hey, we don't need more participation for that specific task. We're good to go. Let's see if you cannot contribute for another activity. So we have the same here for pet sitting that is completed by user 1 as well for Monday, April 3rd. And I volunteered to drive to the CHUM for the weekly appointment 1 of 3. And I'll go show you how we volunteer and how we see more information. And Patrick volunteered for the appointment 2 of 3. And I volunteered for the 3 of 3 here for the weekly appointment. Nobody volunteered for spring cleaning yet, so I guess it's a bit more effort, or it was more recently posted. And in this case, contrarily to the other ones that might be completed with only 1 person, because maybe we just need a driver who's going to wait for us and bring us back, for spring cleaning, the description states 2-3 people for 4 hours to help me do with spring cleaning. So before we complete this one, the organizer might wait to have 3 volunteers whose names are going to show up here before it tags it as completed, and I don't need any more help for this. And we have the attend the course for OnCourage on Wednesday on the 26th of April. You will get more information in a presentation, which it might be the next course that we're going to give on this. So I'm going to look right now on the on how you can volunteer. So let's say spring cleaning is something that nobody volunteered yet, and I might want to volunteer for this. So all you have to do is click on the green description here. So spring cleaning. So it was requested by Patrick. It has to be an organizer. Sometimes you can have 2 organizers, so you know who asked for it. It's Patrick. And again, it's for the 18th of April at 1 o'clock. It's going to most likely finish around 5. And we need 2-3 people for 4 hours to help with spring cleaning. And there's a bit more detail here, right? I will provide all cleaning product, just need help with the manual labor. So don't bring your mops and spick and span or stuff. This is going to be provided. And it's categorized as a household chores. And this is me. So I could respond, I could type a response or anything. But the easiest way to volunteer for something is just click that button, say, yep, I want to contribute to this, so I want to attend. If I don't want to attend, I look at the description and I'm like, nah, maybe not. Maybe I'll find something else. You just hit return here, and you're going to be back to the list of coming event. But let's volunteer for this. Let's say I'm up for it. I want to attend. All right. And here I'm going to always have the option to cancel my attendance. So I can come back to this, and if the next day I say, oh, I didn't check my schedule and that day I have a medical appointment that I cannot miss or something, I can always come and cancel, and the organizer will receive that, hey, I had volunteered, but now I need to cancel my appointment. So now if I return after I volunteered, you can see that I'm tagged as a participant here for spring cleaning. So now if I look at the upper menu that I talked about here, I said there's upcoming, this is the default, archive in the past, and participating. I'm participating in that driving to the showroom here, that one. And I'm also participating in spring cleaning. So it added it to the list. So I can quickly look on my own personal calendar, kind of, hey, I'm helping my friend here on the 3rd, the 17th, and the 18th of April without having to go to the whole list of activities there, which might be on the upcoming. And again, if I want to unvolunteer, let's say that I cannot do that drive to the shroom because now that I volunteered on the 18th to do spring cleaning, I'm like, this is too much 2 days in a row. So maybe somebody else can take this one. I can just click on this here. And it knows I volunteered already. Oh, it's completed. When it's completed, you cannot do that. You need to talk to the organizer. And so let me undo my spring cleaning then instead. And here I can do cancel my attendance. And I'm back to I want to attend if I change my mind a third time. But now, as I go here, nobody is volunteered for spring cleaning. This is the very important section. This is pretty much the main goal of OnCourage. The rest of it allows you to network between people and share stories and everything. But the Ready for Sport, I think, is the most important feature. Any question on this? I know that I might have been scrolling fast or talking fast or not describing everything. If you have any question or anything, I'd like to take a short break here and ask if anybody has questions or comments regarding this. So either I'm clear or you're all on mute. No, somebody's laughing, so I guess I'm clear. All right. So, so again, this is the main purpose, as far as I'm concerned, for OnCourage. And I will show a bit later, if you're an organizer, how you can create these requests and ask people to participate. By the way, each time the organizer creates a new request, you will receive an email to the email that you add. Let me see, did I receive anything here? I didn't do anything. I guess I would need to be in a position to be an organizer and create an event, but you would receive an email say, hey, a new event has been created. And so if you want to volunteer, you can either log on OnCourage, or there would be a link in the email that would allow you to come and volunteer for this. Now, the menu we haven't looked at yet is send message. By the way, these numbers is just the number of items. All right, so we have 4 members. We have 7 ready for support, which are upcoming, and hopefully 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's accurate. And we have 9 photos which are uploaded. So this is just kind of a help and give you a visibility of what is there. And again, now in participating, I unparticipated from the spring cleaning, so now I only have 2 activities. Now, if you want to unparticipate for something that's been tagged as completed, you need to reach out to the organizer, say, hey, because the organizer can uncomplete it, so you can unvolunteer for it. So now the other thing you can do is send messages, and the messages you can either send group messages, so it's going to go to all group members. So if I do that, I can type any message here. This will go to all members. Demonstration on Courage. And you can play with the fonts here. You can bold stuff, put italic or stuff. You can add pictures if you want to. And even though we call it messages, it's not like a messenger or a text message that you have on your phone. Basically, it will send an email. And the only place where, a bit like Messenger, I guess, the only place where you're going to see it as a message is when you're within OnCourage here. We're going to check that out here. There's a section for messages, so you're going to see them there. But over and above that, you will receive an email that say, hey, the WICWC sent an email to all members. So I'll send a message, and it tells you this message was sent to all members of the group. Now, I'm not sure if it sends it to the person who sent it to start with. Let me see. Apparently not. So all other members but yourself. All right, so that's it. That's that. And the other thing you can do is if you have a large group, you might not want to send a message to everyone necessarily. What you have to communicate might be only for a few people. So you can do what they call send private messages. And when you send private, you can select who you want to send it to. You can select all, then it's going to be like a group message. Or you can select that the only person you want to send the message to is user one, and you say that they're identified here. And if you change your mind, say, oh my God, I picked the wrong one, you just remove it here, and then you go and press usager here. And it's the same thing. You can type a message, you can add emojis, whatever, and you can send a message, but only the people you identified here are going to receive it. And if you have a large group, you might want to be able to search the members. Some group might have, I don't know, 20, 25 people. So for example, if I'm looking for US here, it's going to just come back with usager and user one because they have US in their description while the organizer did not. And then I could do a select all. Select all takes everything anyway. So I would take this guy and this guy. So it would go to these two people here. And here again, I can send a test and send message. And it was sent to two members of this group here. Now, for XYZ reason, the message section is not in the bottom here. It's just to send messages. But next to your identification here, there is a menu, and I'm going to walk through every single one of these sub-menu. But let's look at messages right now. So when you look at messages, you have all the messages that were sent on the left. This is kind of a left panel here. It stops like right in the middle here. And on the right, what you see is the content of these messages. So I sent one called test here. I sent that at 6:40 p.m. That looks about right. And it was sent from support group demonstration, which is our group. And you can select another one like this one here, and that green bar here kind of identifies which message you're looking at. So you can see it was from support group demonstration, which is what is here. And this is a test message. There's obviously a lot of test messages here because I'm the one who does the demonstration, so I do a lot of tests. And you can look here for what came from the Patrick individual. So this is, you can search for something. If you're looking for user one, for example, you can look for user, and user one was here, and that one went to all members, so she was also there. And then I can click here, and on the right, I'm going to see the string of messages by a pushing to here. What else can we do here? Well, we can change some stuff around our membership account. So basically, the level here is not something you would play with, but you can exit your profile. You can change your password. My web page is the equivalent of my page here. It's going to just return you where you were before. But if you want to change your password, you don't like the one you defined, you shared it with someone, and you don't want them to, you want to make sure they won't access your page, you can come here, and all they're going to ask you is to enter a new password twice. So your current password is this, and then you can do and add a new password, and they're going to ask you to repeat it a second time to make sure that you didn't make a mistake when you entered it. You can exit your profile. So this is my identification here, WICWC that you see there, but let's say that I don't want that anymore. I want to call WICWC demo. The last name and first name, nickname are not really used anywhere that I could find. So the main thing you can do there is change your name. So I'll change it. And you can see there it's been updated. And if I look at the members, I'm going to now be identified as WICWC demo. And you can change that profile photo here. So I can come here. And again, I can take a photo if I'm on a portable device, a tablet or a telephone, or I can upload a picture that I would find here. Basically, you select your file, and then it's going to show you a section where you can crop it. Just keep the face, for example, if you had a picture of yourself fishing or something of that nature. And then when you save it, this is what's going to appear here. Let me go back. My web page again is the equivalent of my page here. So you're just getting back to the journal and the main page here. Notification. I don't have any notification, read or unread. Messages we talked about, and logout. I encourage you whenever you're done with a session with OnCourage to log out. Otherwise, it keeps kind of, you log in, you can come the next day and the page might still be on your browser and be active. And you want to be sure that if you're sharing, especially your computer with other people, that other people don't access your group and do some intervention or posting on your behalf. That pretty much concludes the user or member portion that I had to share. Any question about this? Any comments? Well, I'm going to move and do a short session on the organizer with your permission, like what you do when you're the organizer. I'm going to just log out here. And I'm going to sign in as my organizer. Typically, it's not the same person, but in my case, it happened to be. I just had to use some. No, don't say that password. So I'm going to highlight the changes between a user and organizer. The main changes are here. You can see that I'm an organizer, and I'm not sure what's happening if the organizer leaves the group, but we'll keep it at that. You have something called Print Photos Journal. This is an option that you can buy over and above the group itself that would allow you, there's more explanation here of what it is, how it works and everything. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but this is an option to organize your photos and communication that you have in a journal there in a better way so you can print them and stuff like this. The first thing then an organizer will do is start a new, let me see, ask to start the group. And I'm not sure if this is really pertinent. If you go and start your page here, there's two levels of packages. There's a starter package for 17 users, up to 17 users, which is $25 for a year. And then there's a premium package, which is unlimited number of users, up to 2 administrator, and unlimited invitees. So you could have 100 people on your group for like $50 here. And when you click on the select, when you pick a package, they're going to ask you for information like what's your name. In this case, it already filled it because I already am the organizer of that group. But they would ask you basically for information about the group, how you want to call it, and so on and so forth. Your own identification, including like credit information, in order to process the payment to start the group.
So before we move forward, Michelle, do you mind if I just say just one little thing? So because
Sure.
we sent you a code, an organizer doesn't need to pay. You can choose the two levels. The code that we sent to you can be used on either the starter or the premium package. So once you put that code in, you do not have to enter your credit card information. It goes away. And all you need is the pertinent information that Michelle mentioned, the email, username, and all that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I received a code and I didn't have to pay for it. There was a discount code that I
Yeah,
received.
so everybody who's here as well has that opportunity.
Okay, I was not aware. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay.
So you can start this. And like I said, the difference is here. The other difference is you have an icon here to change the group photo or to change the main picture here. You can even reposition the cover photo because it was bigger than this. And let's say that I want to see more of this here. And I say save changes, it's going to save it. And mostly the big difference is under Ready for Support here, I have a new menu called Create, which regular members do not have. So that all the other ones are the same. I see the same upcoming activities as everyone, except that I can add to it, right? So if I do Create here, I have to give it a title. So what are we going to do? We did spring cleaning already, so let's do summer cleaning. I'm not very original here, and so this is the description. Here it's going to be need help for gardening and summer cleaning. And when do we want to start? So whenever you have the start date, you have a calendar, and today is highlighted here, but it's summer. So let me put it really far. I'll put it, I don't know, around June here, the 19th of June. And we're not going to start at midnight then. Let's say we start at 9 in the morning, done. And the end is going to be the same date, 19th of June. It's not going to last a few days. And let's say we're working until 4 in the afternoon. So this is how you create basically a title. And you can add media. If you add a picture or something, it's going to show at the top of the description when people are going to look at if there is something, for example, I need help to repair my toaster and you need to put a picture of your toaster here, it would show at the top there. The location, this is optional. This is something I did not mention. All the fields that you see which have an asterisk here are mandatory. You need to put something, otherwise it won't let you save it. So the title, you cannot leave it empty. The description, even if you put one letter here, you need to put something. Same thing for the start. Sometimes the end is optional. It's kind of, I want you to come and visit me Saturday. You don't necessarily need to put late. Don't come before 5 o'clock, but you don't need to tell them that they need to go back home at 10 or 11. So this is, the end is not mandatory. The location is optional, but if you want somebody to help you do gardening, you might want to tell them what it is again, that they won't need to go to Quebec City. And I'll call it also couture as well as a category. And here, there is something which is optional right now, but we will put it kind of mandatory or default, which is allowing people to volunteer to these tasks. If you do not check every one of these here, the participant doesn't receive you don't show a list of participants for each request. They cannot volunteer for it or anything. So you don't receive a notification when somebody participates. So if you're the organizer, it's really nice to receive an email to say, hey, Paula, volunteer for this one. So you can go and say, okay, I can complete this one. I don't need more help or something, by a push to logging into OnCourage twice a day just to check if somebody has volunteered. So these are nice features, and we ask that they would put them there by default.
Ah oui, tout le monde est arrivé.
Non, mais moi j'ai faim, ça va le faim.
Vas-y,
Ouais, tu finis quand?
dans 10 minutes.
Ah, OK. On va attendre 10 minutes.
This is me there. And once you're done, you save it. And now, if we look at the bottom, because I put it really, really far, and they're in an order of dates, we see that summer cleaning is here, June 19th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a description here. And if I want to, even if I'm the organizer, nothing prevents me to participate. So I can say, I want to attend. As I mentioned before, if people volunteer and we think we have enough people, the organizer can go there and mark it as completed. He can edit the content. If it says, oh, I made a typo here, or oh my God, it's not 9 to 4, it's 9 to 3 because at 3 o'clock everybody needs to be gone or something. It will just reopen this and allow you to change whatever you want to change. And when, again, you're satisfied with it, you just do save. And I'm going to go back to it. It's the last one. Delete. Well, it won't be there anymore. I don't need that anymore. Something changed. I want to attend. We'll do like every other participant. When I return, it's going to show that I volunteered for it. So when we go to summer cleaning there, Patrick, which is myself right now, the organizer, as a volunteer for summer cleaning. And if we think that I needed only one person, typically I wouldn't ask for help for something that I'm the only one doing, but for just to show you that I can mark as completed. And then we can reopen it. Like I mentioned before, if you talk to the organizer, say, hey, you had completed it, but I cannot do it now, it can reopen it so other people can volunteer for it. And now it's going to show that it's completed, and the participant is Patrick for what we had defined here. Any question regarding this? All right. The other menu that is special to the organizer is the Manage menu here. And that's the last one we're going to look at. Basically, that allows the organizer to manage the group. And by managing the group, that means all of this information here. I'm going to go in the menu one by one. And again, in the presentation that you will have access to, this is all explained in details. So by default, it's on details because it's underlined here in red. So we can change the name of the group. It was called Support Group Demonstration here. And let me call that Demo instead. Save changes. And I did change the name of the group here. And my story I can change. And see, it says here, notify group members of these changes. So if I go into journal here, Patrick changed the name of the group to Support Group Demo from Support Group Demonstration. So everybody in the journal have access to see that something has changed. And I believe that, look at those emails that I got from OnCourage here. Because it was checked in, if I look on the last one I received, that's not the one. Group details updated. So group details for the group demo were updated. So it's saying that there's been a change there. It's not critical for this specific operation, but for other ones, it might be nice. Now the settings are dealing with the settings for the members. This is a private group. I don't think there's really an option to put it public, but I wouldn't touch this one. But the activity feed, which member of this group are allowed to post into the activity feed? The activity feed is the journal. By default, it's all group members. We want everyone to be able to post that. But if you have a large group of 200 people, maybe you want only the organizers, the two of them, to, if there's two, to post there. So right now I'm at all group member. This is why I could add something when I was the WICWC users who can upload photos in the photos section. Same thing here. I defined it as all group member, but I could restrict it. It's only organizer. For the albums, then I restricted it that only the organizers can do albums. If I'm the organizer, it's my group, I might want to classify the pictures in a way that I see fit and not have everyone starting to do all kinds of groups for cute cats or whatever it is. So in this case, only the organizer. As a member earlier, I would not have been able to create a new album. And who can send group messages? All group members or organizer. And we're talking about group messages, meaning going to everyone. Everyone can always do one where you select them one by one, but group messages, again, if you do have like 20 people or 30 people in your group, and it starts that everyone is sending emails and you end up having 30 emails a day, you might want to restrict that function there. But this is the organizer decision as to who can do what between a member and an organizer. The photo, well, it's that photo here that you could have taken the icon here to do it the same way, but you can do it here. And the cover photo is that picture here that I could change and to put to another one. The members. Now it's different than the picture that you have here in the member section, meaning that it gives a definition of who an organizer is, like total control of the content and setting of the groups. It lists who the organizer is. There can be more than one organizer, maximum 2. It shows the members, right? And it shows the invitation that I talked about earlier, that the link that you would receive by email. So they could copy this and email it to 4 people and say, hey, come and join my group using that code here. And these people, by registering, would be able to participate in the group. Can remove them from the group. If I don't want you to want to be part of this group anymore, I could remove him. Or he can promote them as co-organizers. So we're going to have 2 organizers. So let's say that my WICWC demo that I used earlier, I want him to be have the privilege of an organizer. Now you see that I have 2 organizers. The one by default, which is myself, and the one that I used earlier that used to be a member is now a co-organizer. So it would be now in a position, if I would log back with the same login as before, I would be in a position to create events and invite people to participate. I'm going to demote him because I don't want him to have these roles. That was just for that demonstration. And I need to have 2 roles which are different in order to do the training. Ready for sport? Well, this is pretty much allow group members to assign events to this group. I don't think this is used at all. Only the organizer can create events, because if everybody would start to create events, it would be chaos. And delete, that one is to be used with, that deletes the group. So there is a warning here. It would remove all content, no way back. So be careful. And you need to click that you understand the consequences before they allow you to do it. So obviously, I'm not going to do that right here. That concludes my presentation on the live system. And like I said, if you want to, if you request it, we'll give you a presentation which goes for the photo menus, for example. This is the menu. 9 means 9 photos are posted. You can press that button to upload the pictures. So all the details are here. And there is a section again for the members. And there's here it shows, for example, when I was talking about changing the profile photo, this is the picture that I went and picked on my computer, and then I defined the zone that I wanted to see in my actual picture. And then if you save it, this is what I would see here. And then there's an organizer section where basically what you need to fill in, what is the title, what is the description, what is the start date. The fields with asterisk are mandatory, so what I mentioned before. And it goes to all these details with a lot of screenshots. This is why there is a lot of slides. And it finishes with the delete menu, which I followed pretty much the same sequence at the presentation here. So you can use that as a reference, almost as a user manual. That concludes my presentation.